Hey, what is going on, everybody? Happy Old Testament Thursday. I'm Pastor Adam. I'm so glad you decided to tune in, check out, and see what we've got going on today. Hey, we're going to be starting a new series all about evangelism. If you don't know what evangelism is, it's sharing the gospel with people who don't know it. People who would have no clue who Jesus is, or maybe people who know who he is, who maybe have been hurt by the church, maybe they just don't quite understand it. Maybe they've never thought about it, or maybe they've been hurt by the church. And so they've disregarded Christ, they've disregarded God, and they've gone and done their own thing. Well, by us sharing the gospel, we have an opportunity to reveal Christ to them in a new way, or a way that they've never seen it done before. So, why is that important? Well, we go back to the Great Commission. We are called, we are elected to go and reach people, to create disciples, and then baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. You are commissioned, you are commanded to go out and do that. And if you're not doing that, then we've got some issues here. Why don't we want to go out and reach people? Why don't we want to go out and share the gospel? Well, there could be many reasons. Check out Jonah chapter 1, verse 1 through 3. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed to Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. Jonah fled from the Lord. Jonah, in the same way we are commanded to go and reach people, Jonah was commanded to go out and reach and preach to the Ninevites. The Ninevites were the worst of the worst. They were terrible. They were no good. They were evil, evil people who would take the bodies of their fallen enemies, put them on spikes, and display them through the city to instill fear and dominance. It's not the people you'd want to go and meet with. It's not the people you'd like to go up to and say, hey, you guys have got it all wrong. How about that, huh? You don't want to do that to these people, because they'd probably end up killing you. Jonah knew that. Jonah knew, oh, no way, I don't want to go to there. And so God had taken, or he had ran from God. He fled from God, and God had tried to get him back on track. All these different things. My question for you today: are you like Jonah? See, he wasn't fleeing from the Ninevites. It doesn't say, the Bible doesn't say that Jonah was fleeing from the Ninevites. It said Jonah fled from God. When you decide not to spread the gospel, when you decide that when God tells you, hey, go speak to that person, or hey, God wants you to do this, God wants you to do that for the sake of his kingdom, in order to bring about more into the kingdom, more people, you are fleeing from God. Whatever your reason is, this is the point today. Are you fleeing from God? God has called you to do things. Are you fleeing from him? God has asked you to go reach your neighbor. Are you fleeing from God? God has asked you to reach out to your brother, your sister, your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids, your grandparents, your mom, your dad, whoever it might be. God has asked you to reach out to them. Are you going to be like Jonah and flee? Or are you going to step up and say, you know what, God, you've asked me to do this? Then I'm sure it'll be all right. God's asked you to go and make disciples. Don't flee from him. God has a plan. Trust God. Trust in God to give you the ability to do what he's called you to do. But most importantly, this is my question for you today, and I've already said it, I'm going to say it again. Are you fleeing from God? I'm Pastor Adam. This has been Old Testament Thursday. I'll see you again next time.